That's the sound of the men working on the...
Hello and welcome to another edition of Two-Man Chain Gang. I'm Max Silvestri.
I'm Rich Joswiak.
This week we went to Outback Steakhouse on 23rd Street and 6th Avenue.
Vomit.
So disgusting.
The worst.
And you know, we like chain restaurants here at Two-Man Chain Gang. This place was depressing.
You know, to say that your meal at a chain restaurant is disgusting, we realize is redundant.
Yes.
It's as redundant as dipping fat in fat, but that is something that we did during the course of this meal, and it was the best part of the meal.
Yes. The Bloomin Onion was the best part of the meal. It's what you've heard about. I don't think that there was onion in the second half of it. Like,
No.
I feel like the onion just left. It was just like, you know what? I don't think this is going to be a good experience for anyone. I'm going to get out of here. I'll leave the batter around me and it'll be gross, but you'll eat it.
Well, the Bloomin' Onion is the cornerstone of the Outback menu, and it's also a centerpiece, so it's got a lot going for it.
It really is. It's a crown, it's a hat, it's so many things.
It looked to me after a while, or actually at first, like a dead animal that had curled up and died on its back.
I feel like their menu should just be a huge picture of a Bloomin' Onion and then just like other options
Right.
and all the other food listed in super tiny print like a Willy Wonka contract where you're like, oh, you didn't see that we actually have steaks? Just get the Bloomin' Onion, get two, who cares?
So we have this Bloomin' Onion, which is basically a burden on your life. As wonderful as it is, it's like this thing that's in front of you that you have to eat, and you know all this other stuff is coming. And it felt like I turned into a shark, where as long as I just kept going, it was fine. Because we had a Bloomin' Onion, we had grilled shrimp on the Barbie, we had drinks, we had coconut shrimp, and then the entrees arrived. And as long as I was eating, I was totally fine. The minute that I was able to sit with myself and understand what I was doing to my body, I was like, oh, this is a big mistake. I'm doing irreparable damage.
I think it's a lot like drugs. I mean,
Yes.
no one ever has a problem with doing cocaine.
Right.
Cocaine is great. I think it's when you stop doing cocaine that you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I either need to do a lot more cocaine or die.
The only way we could be okay with this meal is if we never stopped eating Outback.
I mean, maybe you would just have to portion it out, where you just had like a few bites of Bloomin' Onion every hour just to keep your metabolism going.
Just keep some in your pocket. The pasta was way better than it should have been.
Yes.
Like, as much as we love the Bloomin' Onion and hate it, I actually kind of just love the pasta. It was tomatoey and creamy.
It was also spicy in a way that like chain restaurants
in a surprising way.
Always lie to you about the spice because they obviously can't actually have that strong a spice profile.
And they're like, well, if you've been eating here, your taste buds are obviously dead by now.
Right. You probably smoke 10 cigarettes at a time like a homeless person.
While you're eating.
World records.
Yeah.
And I asked our waiter, I was like, I want the ribeye, but I don't know if I want it the classic way with seasoning or like over the wood. And he sort of looked at me with literally, it was like Zen-like the way he offered no judgment when he said it. He was just like, well, with the wood fired, a lot of the fat drips through and lands on the wood and it doesn't get served to you. Not saying like, so clearly you should do that, but there are some people who come in and are like, so I'm gonna be losing a few bucks worth of fat onto the fire. I want the grilled kind that just keeps all the fat in like a greasy slick, and that's what I got, and it was disgusting. He forgot Rich's entree just completely. It was like we'd already been served ours, and after a while, you were just like, my pasta.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, I didn't put that in.
No, you won't be getting that at all.
But he also said, which I thought was actually very wise, he was like, it's my job to be nice to people, it's not their job to be nice to me, which is actually very true.
Yeah, that is the right way to approach a service job, I think.
It really is.
Or maybe it isn't, maybe I'm a dick. It was definitely like the least nice looking place that we'd gone to. It was weirdly lit, felt very old, like it hadn't been updated since like the early 90s.
The clientele was like wearing muumuus sometimes.
There was like 2 boomerangs on the wall. Like
I did like that the women's bathroom door says Sheila's on it, which made me feel like it was a bathroom for crocodiles.
yeah, Sheila. Also, the other reason I felt depressed is that at the end of the meal, after our first 2 dinners, Applebee's and Red Lobster, I felt like that we just had a whole long, fruitful life ahead of us going to chain restaurants once a month. It was just like people would offer us suggestions. It was like, oh man, we gotta go here, we gotta go here. It was like, this is gonna be such an exciting multi-year adventure. And at the end of Outback, I was like, I can't believe we have to do a lot more of these.
Well, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna survive past the night with my arteries. It was just like I felt like my soul had left my body, not for any other reason, but that there was no more room in it. You know? Like that was this bad feeling that took
your body
over
had to make a decision. Either I can keep the essence of Rich and all the riches that came before him inside this mortal vessel, or I can cram another bit of spicy sun-dried tomato pasta.
It would have been so embarrassing to throw up too, so that was not an option. But the funny thing to me is that the booths are made of wood, and they look like they could just fold up and become your casket.
Right.
Send you out
There's
to
a button that just says coffin,
Right.
And then
He
it
died,
calls
sorry.
a hospice, and they come take away the box. It happens all the time. That's why they're so nice.
Yeah. So I will never go back to Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, my only recommendation is if you are going to go there, make arrangements for your family to meet you at home right after so that you can die in peace. Were there shrimps in Little Mermaid? Maybe there was a prawn.
I think there was probably in the Under the Sea there were shrimp things.
Right, the backup answer.
Right,
The
exactly.
shrimp
I
were
would
backup
assume
answers.
so.